segment, we'll take a look at the second round tables. And as promised, I told you guys that Ronaldo was going to come back later on in the show, and he's here. So welcome, Ronaldo, in his woman's shirt.
Greetings.
Yes, from US Circle. What's the training session, sir?
Thank you very much, Daniel. So I was at Hero Circle this morning, leading the training session, getting my young men prepared for the tough task, which will be Christopher Nicholas Sr. and his Tivoli Gardens High School team tomorrow.
Will it be
Friday?
+3?
Excuse me?
+3 tomorrow?
Of course. He had to think about it for a minute.
I didn't hear the
question. That was the reason for the delay. I didn't hear the question. But of course, it will be very, very interesting tomorrow. I even spoke with Coach Nicholas, and of course, he is backing his boys. But Wolmer's and Tivoli, they have a nice little encounter over the years. And what makes it even more interesting is that Jerome Waite coaches the Tivoli team in the JPL. So, there's a little bit of... there are numerous stories there. But thank you guys. And I hope you're supporting... Well, may I get you a Wolmer's jersey? No, or yourself?
The Mona jersey.
Mona jersey. People know it.
A Wolmer's Excelsior lead Group 1 with 3 points and face Stats in the top of the table clash, which will see the winner advancing to the quarter-final. Meanwhile, Tivoli and Wolmer's will look to secure their first points in the second round.
Calabar and Hydel sit first and second respectively in Group 2 and face off on Friday, eyeing a spot in the quarterfinals. Defending champions Kingston College look to rebound from their 1-0 defeat to Hydel. They must win against Campion, who are also without a point.
In the closely contested Group 3, Charlie Smith are top with 3 points and face second place to St. Catherine High on Friday. Vauxhall and St. George's will face off, with STGC needing to avoid defeat to stay alive in the hunt for a last 8th place.
And in the final group, Mona High are early front runners after beating St. Jago in their opening game before Hurricane Melissa. The 2023 champions can move into the quarterfinals with a win over Eltham. Jamaica College and St. Jago contest their other games. So guys, the Manning Cup looks exciting. I know we spoke about like Excelsior being a dark horse, but to be very honest, and I said it last week, I think, Ronaldo, that I think Mona is also a dark horse. They've been winning and they've been doing their thing, but we're not watching them.
Well, we have Captain Mona in the building, so please, blast off.
Being Manning Cup champion 2023, World Cup champion 2024, there has to be pedigree there. As you know, they would have probably be one of the best attacking teams, and the culture of how they go about going about their business has always been consistent since this Coach Butler era. So I do expect them to get all 3 points and move on to the other round.
And I'm glad you brought it up, because Coach Butler has been making some very strong statements, as in that's nothing new to him. But he said that Mona High is going to win this season, right? And so far, the boys have been backing his talk. So I think that we can expect to see some good performances. But if we look in the group, you see Jamaica College, you see the likes of Eltham, you see the likes of St. Jago. All 3 teams did perform good so far coming into this stage of the competition. If we look at Jamaica College, as in it's a shaky season relatively, but I think Coach Watson used these 3 weeks to curate it. We saw their practice match against St. Andrew Technical the other day, and it looks as if they're taking their time to fix the nitty-gritties, to say it, for lack of a better word.
Although I back Mona to win. Eltham would have been in the group with St. Catherine High, and that was a dogfight to who came first or who comes second. And as history would say it, Eltham has been very consistent.
Yes, they have.
And this, I believe, will be a real test of what Mona is really
capable of. And I do agree with that. And I also want to look at St. Jago. They are on the bottom of the table, but they started off the season really well.
Surprising a lot of persons.
They surprised a lot of persons, and they gave a lot of people hope as it relates to St. Jago and football, right?
Definitely.
Do I think that they will leave the zone? Probably not. but I do think that they're going to give, and it's not anything against them. I just think that the caliber of football that will be played will give them a hard time to advance. You know, something would have to probably work in their favor in order for them to matriculate.
I want to venture down to North Street now, Daniel. Ginny is rocking the purple side of North Street this morning, who they lost their opening game 1-0 to Heidel. Do you see a easy bounce back for Kingston College in their match this weekend?
Against Campion? When I spoke to...
especially with Campion losing 4-1 to Calabar previously.
Yeah, I think when I spoke to Coach Basarinas yesterday, he was saying that he has done every single thing that he can do.
So it's not like I relieve himself of accountability.
He has done every single thing that he possibly can do to get the boys ready, because there have been some issues off the field that has been affecting the team. So this break from Hurricane Minister, sadly, would have given the opportunity to iron out these things. Because if things are not off the field well, on the field it won't be. And remember, there's a target on his back because he's defending champions.
Yes.
Against Campion, I think Kingston College will have the better hand, but Campion is one of those teams that you really can't predict. You don't know which Campion will show up.
And their program has improved.
Yes, they have improved under Coach Sterling, who himself was a really good player, particularly the Gardens. So yeah, it should be an interesting game.
And across the road, well, not across technically, but further down in the corner, there's STGC. They will be facing Vauxhall. Vauxhall is not too far away from STGC, so I'm sure that match will be packed to capacity. Once the people can get in, of course. What are you anticipating in that match? Who will get the 3 points?
Vauxhall St. George's College. Kai Butler, a former Georgian, playing against his coach that coached him at Pepsi.
Never.
Never. So it's a very interesting one. It really comes down to the first opening minutes of this game.
Yeah.
Man for man, you will say that Vauxhall probably have the better players, but St. George's College at home is very, very strong.
And they play different at home as well.
On a proper pitch, because the pitch makes a difference as it relates to quality of football. It's difficult, but I think the opening minutes of that game, so who gets the momentum in the game will decide the game.
But you still not tell me, you still not answer my question.
I think he was trying to back away from the answer.
You have too much dog in your fight, you know, that's your problem, Daniel. Who are you going with?
I would say...
I'm going with Vauxhall. Who are you going with?
I'm going with Vauxhall as well, man.
Ginny?
I'm going with Vauxhall as well.
All right. And for Kingston College? Kingston College?
Yes.
Kingston College?
Yes, my good friend.
And of course, Wolmer's?
Oh, no.
Wolmer's?
No.
Wolmer's? Going once?
Yeah, Joe was not afraid yet, so I started going with Wolmer's for this one. And they were once my former employer, so...
Don't want to answer? All right.
I'm joking. I don't think Wolmer's, but...
You don't like Wolmer's?
No.
Okay.
As in, not anything against him, but I just do believe that...
Tivoli Garden has more pedigree and experience.
They are just a more aggressive team.
Okay.
And I think when it comes down to moments like this, they don't let it up that easy.
Yeah, that's
true. Guys, time for another break on High School Pitchside. When we return, we'll focus on the Da Costa Cup. Stick around.
Start your journey with a Jane Bank Small Business Loan, with small business loans with as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million.
The time is 8:30.
Team, we need to pass the ball quicker. Much quicker. And you need to make sure. Need to. I'm the coach.
And I'm the assistant coach.
No. Your job is to bring the water and keep us hydrated. Matter of fact, where's the water?
I've got it, coach.
Welcome back to High School Pitchside as we continue the build-up to the return of schoolboy football. On Saturday, the focus shifts to the countryside as the Da Costa Cup returns to action.
Live on CVM is the matchup between Manchester High and Dintil Technical at 3 p.m.
Manchester entered the season looking invincible, dominant in the first round, scoring goals for fun and playing some of the most confident football in the competition. But as we've seen in recent years, the question is always the same. Can they maintain that level in the latter stages? The signs of fading form have started to creep in, and they desperately need a statement performance here to keep their campaign on track.
Dintil, on the other hand, they are a team that have transformed. Under the new head coach, Lenny Hyde, they've added structure, discipline, and clarity to their play. They're not just competing, they're controlling games, managing moments, and growing stronger with every outing. This is a Dintil side that believes that they can win the group, and this matchup is exactly where they can prove it. And guys, personally, I don't doubt a Lenny Hyde, right? As in, we discussed like probably 2 months ago that it's going to take him a bit of time to get with this Dintil team for them to understand his philosophy. But you can't really doubt experience, guys. And I think that as the passage of the hurricane has happened, but I think that Lenny Hyde has a way of controlling his team and his boys, right? Whether it's that they have to come into Kingston to train or, you know, manage them so that they can produce the results that he wants. I think that we can look for a good outing from them.
I think you're right about Lenny Hyde, but definitely this is a new environment for him at Clarendon College.
Dintil
Technical.
So much work I get Lenny Hyde.
I tell you.
Dintil Technical. He's not at Clarendon College where he'd be in that comfort zone. And in this season, I don't know if you guys remember in 2020 when COVID-19 came and mashed up sports in general. So this season, we literally had COVID, but we've had our COVID-19 practice season with Hurricane Melissa. So, you know, getting that groove back, I don't think Dintil has as much probably individual star talents that they had before, but they do still have a good system there. Manchester High School, we've spoken about Manchester High School. You said it in the prompt earlier. Manchester High School is a school that they do well in the first round, second round they tend to drop off. For this game, my personal prediction, you haven't asked, but I think Dintil will take it. And
I'm glad you brought up Manchester High, because even though they do get shaky at this time of the season, even if we look at their performances so far, it's not anything to necessarily lose complete hope from. I think the coach has been doing a lot of work with the boys in terms of, let us try to, for lack of a better word, break the curse so that we can jump over this hurdle of the competition. But as you said, I think Dintil may win this match.
I think a few years ago Manchester High had a deep run. I think they were knocked out by Central. I'm trying to remember that we were in Central, went to the finals.
Yes. Like 3 years ago.
Probably like 3 years ago. So it's not that Manchester High School is incapable, and they've had good games. I don't know if you saw the Glenmere game.
They have had good games this season, and we featured them too.
Yeah, they came back against Glenmere as well in Manchester. I think probably, I don't know if it is that there's just something about playing in Manchester that makes them a better unit, and probably traveling is not. But now is the time to prove, though.
Yes, it is the time.
Now is the time to prove, because they lost the first game.
Yes. I see Ronaldo over there looking at your shirt, and he's just a bit confused.
Which crest is that, sir?
This is Glenmere, sir.
Where is Glenmere? In Clarendon.
It's in Clarendon, yes.
Where did you attend school?
Manchester High School.
You attended Manchester High School?
Sorry.
Guys, we'll discuss Glenmere in the next segment.
I attended the Carter College. But
so, why are
you challenging me? I'm sure Jenny never went to KC.
She's a female.
Why are you wearing a
I'm not sure
why are you challenging me?
Where's the Carter College?
This is the team.
They don't make jerseys for those schools?
This is the team I think will win.
Jerseys for those schools?
This is the team I think will win.
Do they make jerseys for those schools?
Jenny, have any more questions, Jenny?
You're making a Wolmer's guy tackle you. You should defend yourself.
A guy that is not going to make it further.
Anyways, there is, meanwhile, St. Elizabeth Technical will hunt a place in the quarterfinals when they host Old Harbour High on Saturday. The 5-time champions lead Zone 2 on goal difference, and a win will put them through as they are focused on the task ahead.
Yes, but as we always say, no game is easy, and we just have to go out and do what we have to do and what we know to do. And then these 3 games that we have planned, I think this will really push us and give us back the momentum that we leave, to go forward.
Very confident. I think we have a little bit of edge over Old Harbour because I think we've been playing schoolboy football longer than them and we have a little bit more history than them and more experience. So I think it's going to be a good day on November 29th when we play with Old Harbour.
Yes, you know.
A lot to say from Coach Omar or Wedderburn, but I want to take a little look at Stets, right? They faced... It's almost
you can't even find the words.
Yeah, right. But I do believe that, and we heard from Keith Wellington last week, and his optimistic approach to the rest of the season. I do think that they will continue to advance. This means a lot for that community. Right now, them not really have no choice, but to win. And if you look at their group, Ocho stands out to me.
Yes.
Old Harbour stands out to me, but I do think that St. Elizabeth Technical is pretty comfortable as it relates to advancing in the rest of the competition.
For sure, and that opening 4-0 win, over Kempsey, I think that is setting the precedence of what we should expect from this group. When we just started this season of the show, we all predicted Stets going into the latter stages. Remember, we were even discussing the rivalry between them and Monroe. But as you mentioned as well, Ginny, and I must add to that especially Black River, if you should drive through Black River town right now, people, it is unrecognizable. So I think if Stets are able to take this home, it won't rectify all the issues that the parish in its entirety is facing, but I'm sure it will put a smile on the faces of some of the St. Elizabeth natives.
Definitely, and hope is definitely something that us Jamaicans need right now. We go to another break on High School Pitchside, and when we return, we'll discuss one of Clarendon's most hotly contested rivalries, set to be contested this weekend, Clarendon College versus Glenmuir High. We're back and it's time to turn our attention to one of the biggest clashes in Zone 3. Clarendon College versus Glenmuir. This is a real Clarendon derby, a rivalry built on pride, history, and big performances year after year. CC and Glenmuir traditionally produce high-quality, high-intensity football, often with large traveling crowds and charged atmospheres. Games are typically tight, tactical, and emotional, regardless of forms or standings.
This match has major consequences for the control of Zone 3. A Clarendon College victory strengthens their push for a spot in the last 8. Glenmuir will all but secure a place if they win. A draw leaves the group wide open. But with Garvey Maceo and Magoti playing on Friday, these two teams will know where they stand heading into the game. And Mr. Glenmuir, all decked out. I'd like to see a graduation certificate. But anyway, I'll leave that till after the show. How confident are you that Glenmuir will take these 3 points under head coach Peart?
I mean, it's gonna be a very tough game. I think since the Hurricane, I think Glenmuir have had some practice games, so they won't be going into the match blind. I think Glenmuir have not necessarily looked as convincing all the time as I would have expected them to look, or better yet, they're not as dominant as I would have expected them to be, but they're still a top-class team. So I have them to win the Costa Cup.
Yeah.
I hope they can get the points.
But with CC's high, especially on the wing, and the fullbacks charging up and down the flanks, how do you see Coach Peart, especially him being a tactical mind, what do you think his approach will be? Is it maintain my style of play or adjust to the opponent?
So I think he'll always want to maintain his style of play. I don't think in the Costa Cup this year there is any team that is so far ahead of any other team that you have to really tweak your type of play so much. Previous years on the Lenny Hyde at Clarendon College, then yeah, but no, at this moment in time, no. I think the one thing that we have seen from Glenmuir this season, and probably the only worry is that is a mental worry. We've seen them go ahead in games and lose those games and draw those games rather.
Yeah.
We have seen them go behind in games and not be able to come back to win those games. They went ahead against Manchester High School. Manchester High School came back to draw that match. So I think it's more of a mental thing and how they respond to those challenges. I think that's my only concern or qualms about them. And I think it being a big derby, it's going to play on your mind because a lot of fans are going to be there for both teams. So I'm interested to see how they deal with that. I need to see them put a good mental performance down for me to be a bit more confident of their chances long term.
Jen, earlier we always have the discussion, and part of which was earlier in the season we said that Clarendon College are under a bit of a rebuilding phase, right? With them making it to the second round, even if them drop out to Glenmuir, is it a glass half full or a glass half empty situation?
Well, in this case, because anytime there's a coach change, I give teams grace because it's not going to change in the blink of an eye. So if it is a case that Glenmuir does come out victorious in this occasion, then I'm not going to be Clarendon College too hard, especially due to the climate of everything that is happening right now, right? I think Glenmuir also, as Gio said, even though they aren't performing up to a certain standard as what we're used to, they have a coach that knows what he's doing. And we spoke to Andrew Pate a couple of weeks back, and as well, that was post-Hurricane Melissa, and he was saying that he's confident in his boys, you know? So I do think in this occasion, Glenmuir probably will get the edge over Clarendon College, but I don't think it's room for us to beat them bad. I think Clarendon College has been spoilt with talent over the year, from the likes of going back to people like Andre Blake, Richard King, Kaim Dixon, Malachi Douglas, and they've had a group of boys, Craigton Charlton, they've had a group of boys that are just really talented. Now they're probably going through a little phase of having to find back that talent. Having to find back some structure, a philosophy that works for them. And I would give them grace in this occasion for this season.
And even to add to that, Jen, most of the team can literally play Colts.
Exactly, right? And that's something that is spread right across Manning and the Costa Cup. The boys are young, right? They're like really young. So they're coming out of courts that, yes, it's competitive, but it's not Manning Cup and it's not the Costa Cup, right? And for that, I do think it's going to take a little bit of time for us to see Clarendon College get back, probably, to the Clarendon College that we know, where they can rival with the teams like Glenmuir. But I'm not saying this to say I don't have any hope in them. They probably will surprise us. You know, they probably not Glenmuir's good day and they get the better of them, right? But right now, I'd give Glenmuir the edge.
And well, before we even get to Garvey, just real quick, Gio, I'm going to flip the question. Excuse me. I'm going to flip the question to you, right? With, let's say, CC triumphs over Glenmuir, would that be an indictment on A, Coach Peart's resume, and B, what would that mean for his future?
So I think
another failing season.
So I think Coach Peart has won trophies with Glenmuir, and I think before he came there, they were in a bit of a lull period. So he has had success there. That being said, I do think that, and if you ask him himself, he'll tell you that he wants to win the Costa Cup. So would this season be a failure if he were not to go through, or if you know, some of those mental struggles persist? Then I think so, yes, especially with, there is a continuity. There are some players there from last year, Dustin Cohen, those type of guys that are there from last year to this year. Should he lose his job? I think no, because he can still go on and win the Ben Francis. But this is definitely the season that you want to look at and see, you know, the team in red finally win the trophy. Am I right?
Yeah. I don't know. Next thing now, Garvey and Kempsey, and that's the other matchup in this, excuse me, Garvey and Magati. That is the other hot matchup in this zone. Easy win for Garvey, the Cubans?
Magati has done well. But Magati is another team. Like they're from St. Theatre, right?
Yes, Magati is from St.
Yeah, yes. So Magati, in the first round, they did really well, and they've done really well to come to this point in time. I do think Gary Massey win. I don't think it's an easy win, but I see Gary Massey winning this. Gary Massey have really progressed and grown throughout the season. They came from that group with Glenmuir, so they are battle tested. And usually when teams come out of Clarendon groups and go to the latter stages, they're battle tested because Clarendon enough big school at Clarendon.
Yeah.
So I think they should have enough to get past Magati, but an easy game, no, I don't think so.
And have you met Lester Hibbert? He's such a confident coach. So
youthful exuberance.
Yes.
All right.
Well,
so we are going to take another break right here on High School Pitchside. Don't cry. We'll be right back.
Protecting Jamaica's borders is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
and we've stepped into history class with a former Jamaica College standout whose name is synonymous with schoolboy football history. From making history on the pitch with back-to-back Walker Cup, Manning Cup and Olivia Shield wins to helping young athletes through his Game of Life Foundation, Shamal Thomas has turned the love of football into a lifelong journey. Thank you for joining us today, Shamal.
Great, Shamal Thomas. Nice to see you again, my friend.
Much respect.
I want to give a fun fact, guys. This is the older brother of Shanil Thomas. You guys probably would have known him, and the football has run deep in the family. Now, Shamal, you're involved in multiple sports. From a tender age at Lawrence Tavern Primary, and you're focusing on football at that time. But I want to know, what was the main reason as to why you wanted to do football and get into the art of playing the game?
I mean, well, I think it was more about the fact that it was a team sport than anything else, and you could win together doing something like that, and you could, defeat opponents and send people going home crying. While on the other end of that same spectrum, if you lose, then it is what it is. But I think more than anything else, it was being a part of a team and winning together that kind of pulled me to it, and it wasn't a one-man thing.
Yeah, and you grew up with a lot of brothers, so you probably would have been used to working as a team, right?
Exactly. Three brothers.
You went to Jamaica College, and at that time, I would say that's when people started to see your expertise come to life.
Yeah.
And since you were there, talk to me about the journey at Jamaica College.
I mean, I didn't come out the gates as a footballer at Jamaica College. I did track first.
Yeah.
In first form, I was a high jumper. But again, just the fact that it was a one-man sport, and the training was
yeah, man.
track and field training. So I figured that I had a serious love for football. So both coaches in my track and field coach and my Pepsi coach, I decided that we're going to split the days. So 3 days you train for track, and the other days throughout the course of the week it was football. Eventually I started giving more days to football, and I got kicked off the track team, and it was football from there on in. So I mean, just being able to do that, and growing into the game and playing with players who were better than you and learning from them, that was really, really exciting in the early stages of my time at Jamaica College in the under 14 team. Then matriculated to under 16, playing Colts with stronger boys, with more quality players. At first you didn't just walk into that team, you had to really carve out your spot in that team, and I think at the time, the coach who was coaching the Manning Cup, Alfred Henry at the time, he came down and he got a number of players from out of the Colts team to kind of, just get a little idea of what it would be like being in the Manning Cup team, and that was pretty much the start of, you know, where the history really began at my time at Jamaica College. So football has been a part of my life. I learned many lessons playing the game, and you know, over time things change and things transition, and to the point where you start pouring into others now. So it was a lovely time.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm not to consider now. I'm glad you brought that up, because we've seen you've explained the matriculation from track and field to football, and they're very different. Hard trainings individually, but they're very different. And to see that you would have curated your craft and then been a part of historic wins at Jamaica College, right? That's not something that everybody can talk about every day. And you got a treble in 2010, and you won the Manning Cup in 2009. Those are just really big events in your career, and to think that you would have picked football over track and field and then it resulted in that. Talk to me about just your thought process at the time, and how life at JC was when you guys were in that victory mode.
Well, I mean, when you went into the team, the coach would tell you that, yo, I'm not really here to give a man a game. You have to come play ball, and if you're going to be a part of this team, then the ultimate thing is to win.
Yeah.
You know, so pre-season first started in April, and the season had done till December. So just imagine how much work you had to put in over the course of those months. You know, the onus actually then fell on us to decide that, all right, then this is what the intentions are for this season. And the intention was always to win all 3 titles within one season. 2009, we became the first team in the history of Jamaica College to win the Walker Cup ever, after, you know, making it to many finals before then. And you had, you know, JC Oboes coming in and was like, yo, we were this close this year, we were this close that year. You know, you guys have the opportunity to do it.
The pressure.
So, you know, it was both pressure and excitement. You know, so when we actually, you know, beat Georges that year in 2009, it was like
the blues.
You know, it was a battle of the blues, because the previous year in 2008, they beat us in the Manning Cup final. Right, so it was like, well, I mean, there's no team who's going to beat us twice in one season or the following season. You know, so that was a sweet victory for us, defeating them in that Walker Cup final, and you know, you made history. So your name will be, or the team will be remembered for a very long time.
Trust me, your name will be remembered.
We know each other for a very long time. I would have played against him, unfortunately.
And he was right across the street.
Right across the street. So we call you Tripico. That's what we call him. We see him in the streets. The 2010 team would have had a nucleus of superstars. Ashani Walker, which I went to primary school with. I live in the same area. Nico Wright, Nala, a young Junior Flemings. Didn't know that Junior Flemings was a part of that 2010 team.
From third form.
That Triple Crown team. Talk to me about the mindset, especially the cohesion that you guys had individually. I remember you saying this to me one time, that you also got an award of being the most utility player, because you play like about 5
positions at once.
So that was a part of it. So walk us through that.
Well, I mean, again, excellence was the name of the game at Jamaica College at that time. And after winning the Walker Cup in 2009, it was like, all right, then let's see if we can take this thing a step further. You know, so 2010, the aim was to win all 3 titles now, and to defend the Walker Cup title that we would have won in the previous year. Under there was the cohesion that you speak about was as a result of us playing and being a part of the same team from under 14, under 16. Some of us played Kingston and Kasafa, because at the time we had like all island competitions happening, parish leagues, and some of us played on the same teams. Some of us played against each other at the club level. So we had familiarity, whether it was playing in the same team or playing against each other.
Because we've seen the plethora of experience that you've had from Jamaica College, going to UAFC, being the first educational institution to get into the Jamaica Premier League, and then now being the founder of Game of Life Foundation, you have been engraved in football and still are.
Yeah.
You know, you still have your family playing
True.
and you are a part of it. How can you say all of these different football experiences that you've talked about help you to inspire and help young athletes that are especially underprivileged through the game of football?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my ambitions were to play football at the highest level possible, right? I mean, when you speak about Devon Speedy Williams, Damian Lowe, Taxi, you name them.
Yeah.
We played in the same era of football. I made the national under 15 team and got called up to the national under 17 team. So I had quality.
Yeah.
Right. So clearly, if you're able to represent your country at some point, obviously you want to become a professional player. Eventually, well, that didn't happen. You know. So the next best thing was to then identify how I could, you know, kind of just channel other children or other kids who love the game to get into that. So at my time at UWI, a friend of mine who I went to, well, we grew up in the same communities from Wool Miles, Van Shrukud. He got a scholarship to University of Nebraska. There he met some friends who were doing some charitable thing that, you know, were giving back, called Football for the World. They would go across the world and find, you know, communities that they would provide football equipment to. So they came to Jamaica in 2014 and made a series of donations. I'm like, all right, then since I think the window has passed for me to become a professional player, let me see how best I can help other individuals to just kind of walk that path. So that was pretty much the genesis of how Game of Life Foundation came about. And in 2015, January 5th, 2015, Game of Life made its first donation to Lawrence Tavern Primary School, and since then, and since then we've made upwards of 60 plus donations to primary schools, clubs, locally, and we made 2 donations to Barbados just to kind of, you know, show that we want to spread this thing regionally because there's talent in the region. You know, as you can see.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Shamal. You are on history class for a reason. You've created history from Lawrence Town to JC to UFC, and you've continued to create history with the Game of Life Foundation. So, guys, stay tuned to what he has in store, especially because in this moment, everything that has happened with Hurricane Melissa, we probably will see a little bit of football being played. Thank you, Shamal. And after the break, we have more ISSA Schoolboy football for you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I know you weren't expecting to see me here. Now you can find your favorite chicken and snacks in the same place. It's true. Come on in.
Introducing the delicious combination of KFC fried chicken and Doritos nacho cheese. The KFC Doritos Zinger, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Time for our Powerade team talk, starting with our Powerade hydration tip. Proper hydration keeps your energy up, sharpens your focus, and helps you prevent cramps in those crucial final moments. The impact of Hurricane Melissa continues to be felt across Western Jamaica, and today it has reached the heart of schoolboy football. Maldon High have officially withdrawn from the Da Costa Cup after struggling to field a team in the hurricane's aftermath. Our team talk looks at the challenges they've faced and what this means for the competition moving forward.
It's a decision that even assistant coach Delano Peters didn't see coming up to Tuesday when CVM Sports visited the school in rural St. James.
Not now. No. Right now we don't have that. I don't have that. Right? I don't have the task of not playing the match. Because I said we have a few, the numbers were okay last week. It wasn't good yesterday, but today was poor. So tomorrow and the rest of the week, we'll see how it goes from there.
The devastation was evident upon arrival at the school. In fact, even getting to the school in the hills of St. James proved a challenge. The main road has been blocked off, and the alternate route took our team at least an additional hour to get there. When CVM Sports finally got there on Tuesday afternoon, training had been cancelled because not enough players turned up. That's been a recurring theme for Malden since the passage of Hurricane Melissa, as some of their players live in some of the most remote areas in St. James.
Well, it's been hard. We try to talk to them and also refer them to the guidance counseling department for all the persons who are suffering or finding challenge to cope with everything that's going on. Now, we try to keep meetings with them on a regular basis before trainings, just to talk to them and get them back in the mental space to play some football.
In fact, the coaches have still not heard from some of the players 4 weeks on from Hurricane Melissa. They've been cut off by road and are not accessible by phone.
Okay, well, one of the players, well, they don't talk about it a lot to me, right? But one of the players, he said he has experienced a lot of flooding. Basically, his whole house has been destroyed, lost his belongings. Also, he said he's lost a few things in his time. His belongings, especially personal items like his school belongings and so on.
Since the resumption of training last week, they have not had as many as 10 players in training on any particular day. And the players who have turned up have not necessarily been part of the starting 11. But having said all that, assistant coach Delano Peters was still hopeful of returning to play so that players could take their minds off the hardship they're currently facing.
Well, I really want the football to happen, right? For me, I want the football to play. But for the boys, it's difficult. For me, I want the football to play, but the boys are finding it difficult just to cope with everything going around them. So their mental level, like them wanting to play football, it's difficult to get them to play football because of what happened, right? Their mental capacity right now about football is not really at its highest level. But for me, I want the football to be played. Right, it's not about me really, it's mostly about the players.
And he's not alone.
The school community wants the football to be played. Everybody around the school, the principal, teachers, me as myself as a coach, we want the football. But without the boys, without the mental space, we can't have any football.
But alas, the mental, physical and financial state of the players, the physical structure of the school and other factors meant the head coach, Dylan Telwell, who was not present at training when CVM Sports visited, had to make the decision to withdraw the team from the competition.
You know, some teams have the capacity to have their players camp, dorm, they have the infrastructure, they have whatever it takes. For us, it's a bit difficult, right? Players coming from far, our cottage or our dorm is being damaged, so it's hard. Teams can prepare properly while we are struggling to get the boys together to have a training session.
ISSA announced last Friday that the DaCosta Cup would resume on Saturday, November 29, and the Manning Cup a day earlier. Malden were scheduled to play Christiana at Manchester High on Saturday as part of CVM TV's live and exclusive doubleheader. Malden's withdrawal means Zone 1 is now down to 3 teams. Their previous match against Cornwall College has been declared null and void. The top-ranked team that does not advance to the quarterfinals will be given a bye to the first round in the Ben Francis Cup knockout competition.
That's it for today's High School Pitchside. Keep cheering for your teams, chasing your goals, and remember, on and off the pitch, it's all about the heart and the hustle. See you next time.
Pitchside, brought to you by KFC, Catch, Ping Pong, Water, Powerade, True Shake, Pringles.
crispy, creamy. What a catch, so tasty. What a catch, with a caramel center. What a catch, and so much chocolate. Ooh yeah, yeah, yeah. First it's crispy, then it's creamy, with so much chocolate, smooth and milky. And when you go a little deeper, it's got a caramel. Ooh yeah, yeah, yeah. What a catch, oh 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 oh. What a catch, you know we love you. What a catch, oh 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 oh. First it's crispy, then it's creamy. What a catch.
Hey, what's up? This is Alaine and this is CVM.